Hey YouTube, happy Friday. Here we are today, back again. We're going to talk about some Alaskan sawmill styles, what's available, what's out there. We have Coco, customer here today. He is going to be buying a sawmill attachment. He has never used one before, so he has all sorts of questions. And we have Jack here, who has manufactured his own style of sawmills attachment. So here we go. We're just gonna listen to these guys talk.
So setting this thing up, what's getting it in the mill, getting the saw in the mill, what's kind of my number one thing that I need to be watching for so I don't cut my legs off?
You open up these dogs right here on the bottom.
Right here?
Yep. You can get them open up enough and then just slip the saw in.
So it goes in this way?
Yes, with the head
nose is over here?
With the head up.
Okay.
Okay.
So kind of like this.
Just like that. Okay, and that'll go in there. And you can adjust the length of your cut by loosening these bolts here.
Okay.
And moving that out. And but you can only go as long as the blade is on your saw.
Right.
Okay, so this would handle probably a 30-inch blade if it was all the way out.
So does it matter where I clamp these down on the ear?
Just as long as you don't clamp it where the chain's going to hit it. I mean, you got to have it where they're kind of dead centered in the bar.
Okay.
But you can have it out toward the tip of the bar is fine.
Okay.
And then, of course, the little band there, that's a safety guard so that you're not, whoever's helping you isn't getting in the end of the saw. So that's a safety feature.
Okay. And then do I want to just slide it in until I hit these teeth?
Okay, now what you want to do when you're putting it in is you want to take those dogs off your saw.
Oh.
Okay, you don't want to have the dogs on the saw because they'll grab a hold. They'll suck into the wood as you're trying to move along.
Just binding you up.
And it'll bind you up. So you want to take your dogs off your saw, then slip it in and clamp it not all the way back, but within an inch of the body of the saw. Okay. Now the other thing that I suggest is that before you start, you turn your oiler up. Or if you have
for the bar?
To the bar.
Okay.
The oiler to the bar. And if you have a manual oiler, then just remember to give it a pump every once in a while. You just need going through cutting a plank, you need to have a little more oil on it than normal.
Because we're going to be running this thing wide open for
It's going to be wide open, and it's going to have pressure down on it, and off you're going to go.
On long cuts, do I need to do anything as I get like midway down the log to like wedge the end up, like put a shim in there?
That's a good question. Yes, you should have some plastic wedges with you, just lumberman wedges,
okay.
and wedge that up as you go along. Keep that pressure up off of the
bar.
Off the bar.
Gotcha. And then obviously this is your depth. So just tighten and loosen those for.
Okay, that will adjust the depth of the height of your plank.
Right.
Yes, and you just adjust those where you want them.
Okay.
Now, when you do your first cut, you have to put some type of a railing on either side of the cut in order for this mill to run along.
Right on here.
Yes, these
this
right
will
here
ride on
that will ride on, and we've used 2x4s nailed to the log, or you can use pipe. Mm-hmm. Drill a hole in your pipe and have a spike to put in. It works really well, and just get that down to cut your first depth to get basically your bark off your cut.
Right. And then after the first cut, I just ride right on.
After the first cut, you ride on the cut. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy. You get those pieces of wood out of the way, and it'll ride right on the cut. Now, like for example, the way this is set up right now, you're going to cut about a 6-inch, well, maybe 5-inch piece of wood.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's got to be adjusted up to get a regular, whether it's 2-inch plank or whatever you're trying to cut. And you can use this with a little bit of planning, not only to cut slabs, but you can also manufacture your own beams. Mm-hmm. And the easiest way to do that is to simply take a pencil or a Sharpie and block it out on the end of the log.
Right.
And always, a little old trick, block it out on the small end of the log.
Why?
Well, because then it's going to be there. if you do it on the back end of the log, it's too big.
You get halfway down and then you lose
you
your
won't
log.
have any wood. So
okay.
always work off the small end of your log.
I would have started on the big end of the log.
Well, things you learn.
Yeah. So
you wouldn't have done that twice.
Right. That's okay. Well, I'll make a video and I'm gonna send it over. So we'll see if I live through it. But this is obviously small fish compared to what you got going on over here.
This mill here we made same style, kind of an Alaskan style, but I made this in my shop, and it's got a 60-inch bar on it, as you can see, and 60 inches of chain. And we've run this before with a steel 660 or a 3120 Husqvarna. You need that much power to run that long a blade. And it's all still the same setup. We got safety feature here. It adjusts
there's your depth
in these holes for your depth. And it's exactly the same thing.
Did you just do those on like 1 inch?
Excuse me?
Did you just do those on like 1 inch?
Yes, those holes are on 1 inch. And they're actually fairly accurate.
Yeah.
So they should give you about an inch.
Cool.
The other thing to remember when you're making planks is that if you're going to smooth either one or both of the surfaces, you want to cut it a little wider.
Right.
If you can run it through a planer, you need about 1/8 of an inch to use for planing.
Gotcha. So just because you're going to be removing material. So you said you ran this on a 660 or a 3120. I got the 660. That's what I was planning on using. My other saw is a lot smaller, so that's gonna be kind of a first timer for me. Jumping from that to say something like this, like 880 status, is gonna just basically be faster cuts.
Yes, and way less. Excuse me, way less wear on your saw.
Okay.
I mean, this is gonna be you're gonna be maxed out on the saw.
Everything it's got
all the way through. The 880. For this size of mill would be a really good choice.
Really good fit.
It's got enough power. You're not going to have trouble with binding. And again, you're running through 5 feet of wood when you're sawing with this. The other thing is that we used a skip chain.
Okay.
And
more aggressive.
Skip chain is way better because it helps to clean the residue out of your kerf as you're going along and keep it a lot cleaner. And then obviously with this one, you got to have your oil turned up because you're oiling a big bar.
Oh, you got tons of distance. Okay.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching. The main difference is the size of your bar, the size that you can cut. So here's kind of a small one built by Granberg, and Farmer Tech makes them. Holtz Foreman. There's quite a few different brands out there. And then, of course, if you randomly happen to have or find a 5-foot diameter log that you want to cut through, you can always build your own. Once you understand how they work and how they function, it's pretty simple. You understand and you can build your own. And the next thing is, yes, chain is very important, and cc size of your saw. What we found, this takes quite a bit of time. So the bigger the power head, the better off you'll be as far as time-wise. No replacement for displacement. So anyway, good luck. Coco here is going to... First timer, it really is. He's going to make a video of him using this. He's buying this one here today. And so we'll have some footage of him here pretty quick using it. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.